Hi students, I welcome to all of you to this session of fluid machinery. Myself Dhiraj Mondol, Assistant Professor JS College of Engineering. In my YouTube channel DM Study Center, you will be getting this lecture, and the today's lecture is based on the draft tube. Okay, so let us discuss. You know, draft tubes is basically it is basically a very important part of your this of the reaction turbine. What is draft tube? It is basically a gradually increasing area pipe, okay, which is connected at the outlet of the turbine, okay, at the outlet of the reaction turbine, and it is basically discharging the water at the outlet and of the, that means from the water from which is coming out from the turbine outlet, it is basically discharging that water and also increasing the pressure head with the expense of velocity head. Okay, pressure head with the expense of velocity head, and it is also used to increase the net head of the turbine. So first of all, again I am telling, let us consider this is a draft tube. Now at the outlet, if it is your turbine like this, you will see at the outlet, here I can't show the outlet because here in the shaft opposite to the shaft there is outlet. So let us discuss, let us consider this is your outlet of the turbine, this is the outlet, and in the outlet of the turbine, the pressure available at the outlet of the turbine is the vacuum pressure or less than pressure, atmospheric pressure. So this water, it cannot be coming out from the outlet of the turbine without, and that means as the outlet pressure is your vacuum pressure, so we have to reach up to the atmospheric pressure so that the water will be discharged. So that is why what we are doing, like a gradually increasing area is draft to share your, you can see in the diagram, these are the types of the draft tube. These are the draft tube which is installed at the outlet of the turbine. You know, the previously in the Kaplan turbine we have shown this one. Okay, so this, because of this draft tube, what happened, the whatever the energy velocity head at the outlet of the turbine available, that velocity head is converted into pressure head. So the velocity energy or kinetic energy is converted to pressure energy, and the water is ultimately discharged, and as a whole this mass head is basically increased. You know that this is your datum line at the outlet of the turbine, and this one is what, the water is discharged here in the tail race. Okay, so the tail race actually it is below the ground level. Okay, this is your sea level, and this is the this is your water level, and this is your below the ground. So ultimately as a whole we are getting, this is your head, and you are discharging the water, so as a whole we are increasing the net head. Okay, so another thing, it is increasing the net head. Okay, so that basically it is written here that your draft tube and all this you can read it. Okay, so nothing to discuss anymore here basically. And basically a negative head is established here. It is also, you know that if it is your water level, then this much head we are getting. So because of the negative head, what we are getting, the head, total head is increasing. Okay, net head is increasing. Okay, so come to the next point. So types of the draft tube, there are mainly four types of draft tube: conical tube, conical draft tube, simple elbow draft tube, mood spreading tube, and elbow draft tube with circular inlet and rectangular outlet. Very important. So in this diagram, the conical draft tube and the draft tube with circular inlet and rectangular outlet, these are the draft tube which is very effective or efficient draft tube, and these are the draft tube which is not so much efficient, but also we are using. Why? Because based on our need, these are the draft tube which is basically needed very less space, and these conical and this draft tube, elbow draft tube with circular inlet and rectangular outlet, here basically the what I want to say, that the space is needed, large area is needed, large space is needed compared to the simple elbow and the Moody spreading. Okay, now simple conical tube draft tube, you can see this is your conical tube, this is your level of at the outlet of the turbine and level of water, this is your tail race. So this much HS is the static head, this much head is developed because of the draft tube, and it is basically gradually increasing area, okay, and which is basically increasing the pressure head at the outlet, okay, pressure head, and as a result the water is coming out. So what I am just every time I am just telling that it is basically increasing the pressure head with the expense of velocity head. So is it right or wrong? So that is the theory. In this theory we will be discussing whether the pressure head is increasing or not. So that will be discussed here. So let us consider this is a draft tube theory, that means theory of draft tube, where HS is the vertical head of the draft tube above the tail race. Okay, so HS is what? So HS is equal to vertical head of draft tube above the tail race. Okay, so this is your HS, and Y is the distance of the bottom of draft tube from the tail race. So you know this is your tail race, and this is the distance from the bottom, okay, bottom of the tail race. Now this is your turbine casing or outlet of the turbine, and this is your outlet of the draft tube. Clear? Now I have to calculate, or theoretically I have to see whether the pressure energy is increasing or not. So let us discuss. You know the Bernoulli's equation. What is Bernoulli's equation? Basically it is telling that for incompressible flow, for steady incompressible flow, the energy available, total energy available at any section, okay, will be same. That means the total pressure energy, pressure head, kinetic head and the potential head of this point A is equal to point B, if there is not any kind of frictional dissipation and all this. Okay, so there is some you know that in your fluid mechanics chapter, in your you know that in fluid mechanics, when ME 303 as in your code ME 303 fluid mechanics, I have discussed this part. What is Bernoulli's equation, what are the assumption of the Bernoulli's equation? I think you know it is, because we know that what is pressure head, P1 by rho g, that means P by rho g is the pressure head. That means you know that P is equal to rho g h. So how we can write the head is basically rho g a P h is equal to P by rho g, and kinetic head means your velocity head or kinetic head, that means your half V2 square by 2g. Okay, so in terms of head we are going to discuss. Okay, so basically the Bernoulli's equation is basically and telling about the potential head, that is your mgh. Mgh is your potential energy, and the potential head is equal to z. Okay, clear? So that you know in your when we have discussed this Bernoulli's equation, this I already have discussed. Now let us discuss the Bernoulli's equation here in section 1 and section 2. If you want to if you in the section 1 and section 2, you can see section 1 and section 2, if you want to apply Bernoulli's equation, so what we can write? We know that Bernoulli's equation P1 by rho g, P by rho g plus V square by 2g plus Z is equal to constant, and in every point it will be constant. And what are the assumption of Bernoulli's equation? Can you remember what are the assumption of Bernoulli's equation? It is basically the flow should be ideal. That means viscosity is equal to 0. So flow should be ideal in nature. And another assumption was Can you remember another assumption? The flow is steady. Flow is steady. Any other assumption? The flow is incompressible. That means rho is equal to constant. Flow is incompressible. And one more very important, that flow is your irrotational. Okay, flow is your irrotational. That means it is not rotating. What do you mean by irrotational flow? When the water, if it is your water particle, now rotational flow means what? When the water particle is moving and also it is rotating with respect to its own axis. Okay, and also it is moving towards x-axis. That means it is rotating with respect to its own axis and also it is moving forward. So that is your rotational flow. Okay, so if it is rotational flow, then you will see that the your boundary line, you know that boundary line, this is your boundary line theory. Okay, here basically, so in here basically it is your rotational flow. Your W component is it is existing, but this boundary layer, from this boundary layer, if you am just again drawing the velocity gradient, then here basically it is your irrotational flow. Okay, so you know that this is discussed in the earlier in the fluid mechanics, so I think it is clear. You have remember what I want to say. So here basically the Bernoulli's theorem, applying Bernoulli's theorem, P1 by rho g here, P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g here, plus what is the head, Hs plus Y, this is the total head potential energy, is equal to P2 by rho g plus V2 square 2g plus V2 square by 2g plus 0, because potential energy is 0 here, because with respect to this point, with respect to this line, we are taking this is your datum line. Clear? So plus HF. Why you have taken HF? Because we are applying modified Bernoulli's equation. You know the modified Bernoulli's equation, there is frictional loss will be taken under consideration. Modified Bernoulli's equation. Okay. So at the outlet, when the water is traveling from 1 to 2, there will be some frictional dissipation, frictional loss. That is why HF is taken under consideration. Clear? Now P2 by rho g is what? Atmospheric pressure plus Y. Why I have written? Because this is your atmospheric pressure and I have to travel up to this Y, and Y is equal to, we know that as you am traveling below the water surface, so we know that if this is your head, that means this is your body and this is your free surface, and up to this much what is the pressure head, the H is equal to, you know, the rho P is equal to rho g H and H is equal to P by rho g, and that is the head. So Y is written like this. Okay, so and this atmospheric pressure is equal to Pa by rho g. Can I write this? Because this is your atmospheric pressure. Now substitute the value of P2 by rho g, you will be getting this equation, P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g plus Hs plus Y plus Pa by rho g plus Y plus V2 square by 2g plus Hf, because Z2 is equal to 0. Now you just cancel out y. Okay, then you will be getting this equation, P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g plus Hs is equal to Pa by rho g plus V2 square by 2g plus Hf. Now I can write the equation in this fashion, P1 by rho g is equal to, just take this value in this side, right hand side, and after that you will be getting this equation. So here is the main thing, P1 by rho g can be written as Pa by rho g minus Hs minus this mass. Now you see V1 and V2, this is your V1 square by 2g, V2 square by 2g. So basically what happened, Hf is having some positive value, Hs is having some positive value, you know, that is clear na? Now this part will be positive because it is your change of head. So you know V1 will be greater than V2 because it is traveling na. So this part will be positive, this part will be positive. So ultimately as a whole this part is positive, and and this is your frictional loss. So as a whole this total part will be positive, and it is basically deducting from pressure head, atmospheric pressure head. Also HS is deducting. So what we want to say that if P1 by rho g is equal to PA by rho g, that is your atmospheric pressure head, minus some positive thing, positive number, so this will be greater than this. Otherwise how it, that means to get equal, that this pressure head at the inlet is equal to pressure head, atmospheric pressure head, this part will be 0, but this it is having some positive value. That means we are just subtracting. If let us consider this is your 50, P1 by rho g is 50, so it should be 100, so that this, and let us consider this as a whole, this is your 50. So if it is 50, then it should be 100 or greater than 50, or greater than 50, so that if I am neglecting, or if I am deducting this whatever the value, whatever the positive value, if I am deducting, then only it will be equal. So we can write from this equation, it can be easily said that pressure head at the P1 by rho g is less than the atmospheric pressure. It is less than the atmospheric pressure. So that is why we have to install this theory. So theoretically it is proved that pressure at the inlet is greater than, less than the pressure, atmospheric pressure. Okay, so that was our main criteria, main thing what we wanted to describe here. So I think it is clear. Now the efficiency of the draft tube, if I say that what is the efficiency? Efficiency basically of the draft tube is the actual conversion of kinetic energy into pressure head by kinetic energy at the inlet. You know that actual conversion of kinetic energy is what? V1 square से V2 स्क्वायर हो रहा है, तो V1 स्क्वायर माइनस बाई 2g माइनस V2 स्क्वायर बाई 2g minus HF. Why HF? This is frictional loss. So this is the actual conversion of the kinetic energy. By initially kinetic head is what? V1 square by 2g. That is your kinetic energy half mv square. So by a half mv square को क्या करना है आपको? By weight, per unit weight करोगे तो V2 square by 2g हो जाएगा. ठीक है. So this is the efficiency. I think it is clear. Now this is your this question is given as assignment. All this, it is your assignment what I have discussed here, and submit it to my official mail dheeraj.bondol@jiscollege.ac.in, and this lecture will be available in my YouTube channel DM Study Center. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to get notification. Okay, so thank you today up to this. Thank you for listening. Hi students, I welcome to all of you to this session of fluid machinery. Dear students, myself Dheeraj Bondol, Assistant Professor, JS College of Engineering. Today I am going to discuss about the Kaplan turbine the numerical analysis on the Kaplan turbine. You know the last class I discussed about the theory of the Kaplan turbine. So this is the continuation of the previous lecture. You just see the lecture if you have not seen the lecture, and then come to this topic, because this is the here we will be going to discuss about the numericals. So the theory part is basically in the previous lecture number 25, I think it is given. So let us discuss the first numerical. A Kaplan turbine working under the head of 20 meter, shaft power is given 11772 kilowatt. Okay, the outer diameter of the runner is 3.5 meter, half diameter 1.75 meter, it is given. The guide blade angle at the extreme edge of the runner is 35. That means guide blade angle is your alpha. So alpha is 35 degree. The hydraulic and overall efficiency of the turbine are 88%. So 88% is the hydraulic efficiency, and overall efficiency is the 84%, 0.84. Okay, respectively. If the velocity of reel is 0 at outlet, that means beta is equal to 90 degree, because velocity of flow will be absolute velocity of jet at outlet. So this is the assumption, this is the given data, and according to that you have to find out the runner vane angle at inlet and outlet, and the speed of the turbine, speed of the turbine. So remember, first of all, if you want to find out speed of the turbine and runner valve angle, first of all see the velocity angle. This according, after going through the problem, you have to draw the velocity angle. If you can't understand the velocity angle, then you are just gone. You just go to the previous lecture how the velocity angle is drawn. You go to the impact of jet chapter, because without knowing this velocity angle you can't solve this problem. Now let us discuss the back calculation. What you need to know, where we have to go, okay, what is our destination, that will be discussed. That is the important thing, because we can't proceed blindly. Here you can see, this is your turbine at inlet V1, VR1, VF1. This one is your U1, this is your VW1, this is your alpha, this is your theta. As beta is your 90 degree or the radial flow at outlet. So what we can see, the real velocity is your 0 and this is your beta 90 degree. So it is equal to Vf2 is equal to V2, and this is your U2, this is your VR2, and this one is your phi. Now first of all let us discuss what you need to find out. We need to find out the theta. So tan theta is equal to, we know that Vf1 by Vw1 minus U1. Tan theta, this is a tan theta, sorry, and tan phi is equal to Vf2 by U2. So to get theta and phi, you need to find out Vf1, you need to find out Vw1, we need to find out U1. To get phi, you need to find out Vf2, you need to find out U2. And to get n, what you need to find out? We know that n is equal to, U is equal to pi d naught n by 60. So to get n, you need to find out the d and u. Clear? So first of all, tan theta is equal to Vf1 by Vw1 minus U1. Now you see, Vf1 how we can calculate, because alpha is given. So as alpha is given, V1 is equal to V1 sin alpha. So easily we can say, okay, is V1 given? If it is not given, then we can't find out Vf1. Okay, we can find out, but in other way. Okay, so first of all, you know the overall efficiency, you know the given data. Based on this given data, you have to realize that how we can solve, how we can link that, how we can find out that particular thing. Okay, so you know that the shaft overall efficiency is given shaft power by water power, and as we know the water power is equal to rho g QH by 1000. Now as you know that what your overall efficiency is given 0.84, shaft power also given, and water power is equal to, I can write rho g QH by 1000. You know H is given, so can I find out Q? Because all the data it is known. So Q, as I have got Q, and Q is equal to, we know that pi by 4 d naught square minus dv square. Clear? Into Vf1. Again I am writing Q is equal to pi by 4 d naught square, d outer square minus dv square into Vf1. D naught square is given, dv square is given. Can I find out Vf1? Because discharge already I have got from the equation. Overall efficiency is equal to shaft power by water power. So I can easily find out Vf1. As I have got Vf1, I can find out the other thing, that is your alpha is given. So Vf1 is known, so V1 you can find out, because we know that V1 is equal to Vf1 sin alpha. So can I find out V1? If I got V1, then I can get Vw1 easily, because Vw1 is equal to V1, sorry, Vf1 is equal to V1 sin alpha and Vw1 is equal to V1 cos alpha. So you know that Vf1 you know, so V1 you can find out, and as we have got V1, then Vw1 we can find out. Now how we can find out the u is equal to pi d1 n by 60, pi d naught n by 60, but we don't know n. So first of all, this is clear up to this. I think it is clear. Now if it is clear, come to the hydraulic efficiency. You know that hydraulic efficiency it is given. So this is your discharge. How much discharge? Discharge is 71.4 meter cube per second. Now put the value, you will be getting Vf1, and Vf1, then from that Vw1 you will be get. You will get Vw1. Now hydraulic efficiency is equal to what? Vw1 u1 by gh. Why I have written? Because Vw2 is equal to 0. So that is why this part will be 0. Now Vw1 you know, h you know, hydraulic efficiency you know. Can I find out u1? So I can find out u1, and u1 is equal to, you just see this equation, u1 is equal to 12.1 meter per second, and u1 is equal to u2 is equal to pi d naught n by 60. So as I got u1, can I find out n? Because d naught is given, so that is written here, pi u2 is equal to u1 is equal to pi d naught n by 60. So from this equation you can find out n. Another thing you have to find out, that is your tan phi. Tan phi is equal to Vf2 by u2. So u2 I have got, Vf2 I know, Vf2 is equal to Vf1. So this is the answer. Phi is equal to 39.035 degree, and n is equal to what? 66.63 rpm. So this is your answer. I think it is clear. Now if it is clear, then come to the next point, next question. In the question number 28, you can see Kaplan turbine shaft power is given. Okay, power at an average head is given 39 meter. Assuming the speed ratio means your u1 by root over 2gh is equal to 2. Flow ratio माने Vf1 by root over 2gh is equal to 0.6. Diameter of the boss is equal to 0.3 time. The half diameter is equal to 0.3 time of the diameter, outer diameter. Okay, and the overall efficiency 98%. Overall efficiency, you know that shaft power by water power, that is equal to 0.9. Calculate the diameter, speed and specific speed of the turbine. See, this specific speed did not discuss yet. So specific speed is equal to ns is equal to n root p by s to the power 5 by 4. You have to remember this formula, where n is the rotation in rpm, p is the power developed, okay, and s is the net head. So n is specific speed. It is basically used to determine the it is basically used for design purpose, to get a, that means if you want to manufacture a large scale turbine, you have to first of all you have to make a model, then based on that you have to make a prototype. So that is another part. I will be discussing it afterward in the upcoming lecture, but let us see in this numerical what we need to find out. The diameter is the diameter, speed and specific speed of the turbine. So here basically you know that shaft power is given, h is given, u1 root over 2gh is equal to 2, and u1 is equal to 2 into root over 2gh. Now from this equation you can find out u1, because all the data are given. Flow ratio is equal to this Vf1 by root over 2gh. So Vf1 you can find out. Next, dB you can find out 0.3 time of d naught. Overall efficiency 0.9. So overall efficiency is shaft power by water power, and water power is equal to rho GQS by 1000. Put the value, all the value, you will be getting discharge, because all other equation it is known to you. Next slide, come to the next slide. This is equal to pi d naught b naught d naught square minus b naught square into vf1. You know that d naught dv is equal to what, 0.3 times of d naught, and vf1 already I have got. So ultimately d naught you can find out 2.5 meter. Clear? As you have got d naught, you can find out db, that is your 0.3 times of 2.5, that is your 0.875 meter. Speed of the turbine u1 is equal to pi d naught n by 60. So you know that u1, it is also, if you can get u1 and n, all you have to know. So all the data are known. So u1 you can find out 422.61 rpm. So remember this rpm, basically when you are getting this speed, then it is basically rpm. Then as I have got this speed, we can find out the specific speed, that is your n root p by root of h to the power 5 by 4. Put the value where p is the what, power available in the shaft power in kilowatt. Okay, in kilowatt, okay, not in watt. So if you are getting this ns, you will be getting 608. Now this 608, it is basically signifies or defines that it is which type of turbine, Kaplan turbine, because we know that 8.5 meter per second, sorry, a specific speed 8.5 to 30 is called your Pelton turbine with single jet. 31 to 51, 31 to 55, it is your Pelton wheel with double jet. And if the specific speed you are getting 55 to 225, then it will be called Francis turbine. If you are getting 255 to 860, then it will be called either Kaplan turbine or propeller turbine. Okay, so this is based on the specific speed, you can classify which type of turbine it is. Okay, so I think it is clear. The problem number 21 is given as homework. Not only this one, all the discussion, it is your homework. This is the assignment, so submitted in my official mail, and we will be meeting in the next lecture. Thank you for listening. And one more announcement, you please see all the lectures which you have not seen, otherwise it will be a great loss for you. And don't forget to subscribe the channel DM Study Center. To get notification, you have to press the bell icon. Okay, and otherwise you will miss my lecture. All the lecture, it is uploaded in this YouTube channel, and as well as join me to the Telegram channel to get this PDF, that is your GK by Dhiraj sir. And that means there we have uploaded lot of things, lot of general knowledge type knowledge, and your paper, okay, online paper. Okay, so all this, it is uploaded in the Telegram channel. Join here, you will be benefited. Okay, thank you for listening.